Introverts of Reddit, when was the most inconvenient time your social battery ran out? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. My early 20s, I'm 30 now and still haven't found the charger. I have been at a few parties where I just suddenly didn't want to be there and had to leave. It's like a light switch is shut off in my head. I've walked home rather than wait for my ride to be ready to go. At work, I work as a cashier and this was 3 hours before my shift ended. The moment I walked into a party, my roommate had taken me along with him and I knew no one there, so I pulled a Batman and vanished while he was looking away. At the family dinner right after my brother's funeral, I was able to be that person that received all the hugs and said hello to a ton of people I hadn't seen in years. I kept it together for the most part. However, I also have a really big, and overly dramatic, family, and by the end of it all I was ready to be alone, so I was happy sitting in my chair at the table while everyone else mingled among themselves. I was an orientation leader, basically a long week of showing freshmen around campus, and I crashed hard by Wednesday. Little did I know we were also expected to go out partying with the staff in the evenings, so our days would be 8 AM to 10 PM with the first years, then 11 PM to 2 AM with our staff. It was hell. Get halfway through telling a story, realize it's longer than I remembered and have to gruel through the rest of it. Man, my social battery is always drained by 9:30. I could be at a party and I'm over it by 9:30. 1 second after committing to any social event. My wife and I had a couple who mildly annoys me over for dinner and a board game. Game ended around 10 PM. I was at the drained point. Was a perfect time for goodbyes. And then my wife went to the sitting room and started a whole new conversation with them. 20 minutes later, I faked being asleep to get them to leave. One of my best friends graduated college and the day after a group of us went out. About 30 minutes in, I was on 2%. In the middle of a conversation with my extrovert friend who dragged me to this party. Wouldn't stop bugging me about it. Guess I looked bummed. My job is retail, so generally my social battery is on all day, and when I go out with my girlfriend it's hard to be in a social scene. I'm physically exhausted and I need the rest of the day just to re-energize. Every day, face with cold sweat. I miss going out. One of these days I'll figure it out. I had broke up with a girlfriend and a very extroverted friend of mine asked me to hang out and party with him and some of his very extroverted friends. I said frick it and went. It started out good, but by the third bar we jumped I was exhausted and ready to crash. Shitty thing was that we took my car and I couldn't leave without them. We ended up going to this high-end club in Chicago and they bought bottle service for like $500. They all got drunk as frick and started urging me to get drunk, so I had to sip on water pretending that it was vodka. I pretty much spent the night trying to avoid the hordes of drunk people raving to loud as frick dance music while I had to manage my anxiety so I didn't completely melt down. Afterwards I dropped their asses off, went home, and completely shut myself out from the world for a week. The worst time was while house hunting. That was a problem because I really needed to find a house and being exhausted / drained / so done with the whole situation was not a good mentality for trying to evaluate a potential home. I did find a good place, for your information. Probably any of those times where my friend would say, hey man, we're gonna just be a few people playing Smash Bros or Mario Kart. Gonna hit the bong, wanna chill? And I'm like, yeah sure, sounds good. I get there, and legit 20 minutes in, friend is like, oh shit, yeah there's that party tonight. Let's hit the bar then go the party, and I'm like, yeah sounds good. But I'm secretly like, no. We end up at some house party with like 50 plus people and I turn into Michael Cera from Superbad. Why I do this? My friend of 12 years from USA, I'm UK, came over, we met for the first time, and after 2 hours of us playing couch games like Overcooked I was pooped. I just wanted to play a single player game. So I showed my friend my Oculus Rift, she loved it, played it for a good hour after I set it up. Meanwhile I leave the room quietly pretending I'm still in the room and I go to the bathroom with my 3DS to play Bravely Second. To this day they never knew I abandoned them for an hour. I'm no longer dating her so I don't feel bad, but right in the middle of my ex's mom's birthday where I was meeting her entire extended family, her aunt got really drunk and passed out in the only bedroom I could have hid in, so I faked feeling sick and hid in the bathroom. I was bored. And that's how I found out her mom keeps all her sex toys in a basket above her bathroom towels. A couple years into my marriage, when I had been busting my balls for years trying to make her think I was extroverted like her, we're still married. I think she kinda always knew. I've actually gotten pretty good at faking extroversion and being the center of attention and even the life of the party. But I will always 100% look for any excuse to get out of social events, especially cause our kids are also extroverts and wanna go to and I'm just here. all alone, recharging so hard. My BF's brother's grad party, I straight up looked dead by an hour in, and drinking is what gave me a second wind. Not one time in general, but pretty much every Friday. That's usually the best day to hang out with one of my friends. For a while we worked together, so it made sense to just head over to his place after work, every week, without fail. It would go like this: get to his house at 5 or 6. It gets late. For me, 9:30 or 10. Oh yeah, I should probably start heading out. Friend and his girlfriend. What? You've only been here a few hours. We're about to. Or frick, guess I'm staying another 2 hours. Some friends asked me to dinner. It was kind of understood that it would be just the three of us. Go over to their house. Lots of people there. Somebody's birthday. No dinner. I went up to them and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not staying. We can have dinner together another time. Bye." And walked out. Didn't care who thought I was the asshole. Don't pull that shit on me because you know better. My cousin's wedding. We were about an hour in and all I wanted to do was be in my bed with a book. When I was hosting a party with my roommate, I went to my room, laid on my bed, and stared at the ceiling until 3/4 of the people left. When my dad died 12 days ago, apparently even warning people that I was going to be okay, but that I was going to check out for a while wasn't enough. RIP FB, VM, text, and email inboxes. On the plus side, I've learned that I'm pretty loved. While messaging people, I'm known for answering everything several days late because I just don't have the social energy to type out a response. Most recent it was in Ireland. My family was so excited to be in a different country and wanted to go check out various pubs. I had to leave them because I was so low on social energy. I was getting a very bad panic attack. I feel really bad, sad face, sorry guys. We never got to have trips like that and we finally get this chance we may never repeat and I had to leave. It really sucks. About 2 hours into a 20-hour train ride to New York. Sucks being trapped in a metal box for so long with a bunch of people you don't know. Some that are extra chatty because they are bored and want to make friends. Made me kind of wish I bit the bullet and flown instead, because it would a shorter trip. But flying gives me terrible anxiety. This is decades ago. I had always been introverted and my sister fixed me up with a friend of hers. We doubled to a Simon and Garfunkel concert. My date was really cute. The concert was great, but I don't think I said 2 words the whole evening. Next day sis calls and tells me I have to do something. I took her advice. Got a recommendation for a shrink and 10 years later I was out of the pits. Still was a bit shy but managed to function normally. Now when I tell people I used to be pathologically introverted they don't believe me. Oh god, I was about to go inside of a gas station to get a pack of cigs. Felt confident enough. I get to the cash register and completely forgot how to speak. See, can I get a peeper? Pack of Marlboro. Can I get a pack of Marlboro Black Menthol 100s? She's looking at me like I'm a freaking weirdo and reluctantly asks for my ID. I pull it out and very slowly slide it on the counter while she has her hand out waiting to grab it. I was trying to conceal my nervous shaking but made it so much more awkward. I wanted to say sorry but I just left. I didn't buy cigarettes myself for 3 years after that. It had been a long week at work. It was too hot and my train was delayed and keep changing platforms. Got on and there wasn't enough seats. This immigrant family with 2 really little kids are standing up without anything to hold onto and no one is giving up a seat. So I gather up what energy I have left, poke the most able-bodied looking people and tell them politely to get the frick out and give their seats to the kids so they don't get hurt. My battery totally dies and I sit on the floor in a corner of the train and freaking cry like some sort of crazy lady. That wasn't a great day. Group date, which was a day out. I was so done I slept on the ride home to avoid snapping. When I told myself I was going to extricate a group of people from my life and then they invited me to game night, which inexplicably turned into a road trip to multiple other people's houses in the friend group, and not getting home until 3 AM. I was at a wedding for my friend from grad school. I care for her dearly and her husband is also a good friend of mine. I even flew to New Haven just to be there for them for a single night. I ended up being that gloomy looking guy in the corner. Does this count? I was already fed up with my ex-boyfriend, and I didn't want to go to a work party. He worked for a German company and they had a female intern from Germany. He was the head of the US division. So we're there after the furniture market and they make a toast and some drunk salesman says, "German intern, and my boyfriend, need to just get it on. We've been together for 3 years by this point and I know this salesman well." I just turn around and drive home, where we lived together. We broke up because I couldn't laugh off a joke. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.